George Washington. George Washington was the first president of the United States. He became president on April 30th, 1789. He led the American Army during the Revolutionary War, which lasted from 1775 to 1783. This war helped the colonies gain independence from Britain. George Washington is often called the father of his country because of his important role in shaping the nation's early history. John Adams. He was the second president of the United States. He became president on March 4, 1797. Adams played a crucial role in America's early history, serving as a diplomat, lawyer, and politician. He served as vice president under George Washington before becoming president himself. Adams worked hard to strengthen the new nation's government and protect its independence. Thomas Jefferson. He became the third president of the United States on March 4, 1801. Jefferson was a key figure in America's early history, known for writing the Declaration of Independence, which declared the colony's independence from Britain in 1776. He was also a skilled diplomat, architect, and philosopher. Jefferson is remembered for his support of individual rights and his efforts to expand the United States through the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. James Madison. He was the fourth president of the United States. He became president on March 4, 1809. Madison played a crucial role in shaping the U.S. Constitution and is often called the father of the Constitution. During his presidency, Madison led the country through the War of 1812 against Britain. He is remembered for his intellect, leadership, and commitment to American democracy. James Monroe. He became the fifth president of the United States on March 4, 1817. Monroe is known for the Monroe Doctrine, which declared that the Western Hemisphere was off-limits to European colonization or interference. This doctrine helped shape American foreign policy for many years. Monroe also oversaw the acquisition of Florida from Spain and the Missouri Compromise, which aimed to ease tensions between slave and free states. He is often remembered as one of the country's early presidents who helped define American identity and expand its territory. John Quincy Adams. Quincy Adams was the sixth president of the United States. He became president on March 4, 1825. Adams was the son of the second president, John Adams, and he followed in his father's footsteps by entering politics and serving as a diplomat. Before becoming president, Adams served as Secretary of State under President James Monroe. During his presidency, Adams focused on internal improvements such as roads and canals, as well as expanding education and scientific research. He is remembered for his dedication to public service and his efforts to advance the nation's interests both at home and abroad. Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson became the seventh president of the United States on March 4, 1829. Jackson was known as a populist leader who championed the interests of common people. He is often remembered for his role in expanding voting rights to white males. Jackson's presidency was marked by his strong leadership style and his efforts to strengthen the power of the presidency. Martin Van Buren. Buren became the eighth president of the United States on March 4, 1837. Van Buren was a skilled politician and a key figure in the development of the Democratic Party. He served as vice president under Andrew Jackson before becoming president himself. Van Buren's presidency was marked by economic challenges, including the Panic of 1837, which was a severe financial crisis. He also faced difficulties with Native American removal policies and tensions over slavery. Despite these challenges, he is also remembered for his efforts to strengthen the role of the federal government. William Henry Harrison. On March 4, 1841, he became the ninth president of the United States. Harrison was a military hero, known for his role in the Battle of Tippecanoe during the War of 1812 and his victory at the Battle of Tippecanoe. He was the first president to die in office, serving only 31 days before succumbing to pneumonia. Despite his short presidency, Harrison is remembered for his dedication to public service and his contributions to the country's early history. John Tyler. John Tyler became the 10th president of the United States on April 4, 1841. Following the death of President William Henry Harrison, Tyler was the first vice president to succeed to the presidency after the death of a sitting president. His presidency was marked by tensions with Congress and his own political party, as Tyler often clashed with his fellow Whigs over issues such as the National Bank and tariffs. Tyler was able to annex the Republic of Texas, which became the 28th state of the United States during his presidency. James K. Polk. He became the 11th President of the United States on March 4, 1845. Polk was known for his expansionist policies, which included the annexation of Texas, the Oregon Territory, and the acquisition of California and the Southwest from Mexico through the Mexican-American War. His presidency is also remembered for his commitment to achieving his four main goals, known as the Polk Doctrine: lowering tariffs, establishing an independent treasury, settling the Oregon boundary dispute, and acquiring California. Polk served only one term as president and chose not to seek re-election. But his actions significantly expanded the territory of the United States. Zachary Taylor. Zachary was the 12th President of the United States on March 4, 1849. Taylor was a career military officer known as Old Rough and Ready for his tough and straightforward demeanor. His presidency was short-lived, as he served only 16 months before his death in office. Taylor's presidency was marked by debates over the expansion of slavery into new territories acquired from Mexico during the Mexican-American War. Millard Fillmore. He became the 13th U.S. President on July 9, 1850. Following the death of President Zachary Taylor, Fillmore was a member of the Whig Party and served as Taylor's vice president before assuming the presidency. Fillmore signed several key pieces of legislation during his presidency, including the Fugitive Slave Act, which required the return of escaped slaves to their owners. Despite his efforts to preserve the Union, Fillmore's presidency is often overshadowed by the tensions that ultimately led to the Civil War. Franklin Pierce. He was the 14th President of the United States, became on March 4, 1853. Pierce's presidency was marked by growing tensions over the issue of slavery, particularly in the territories acquired from Mexico. His support for the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which allowed settlers in those territories to decide whether to allow slavery, further divided the nation. Despite his efforts to maintain peace and unity, Pierce's presidency deepened divisions within the country and contributed to the lead-up to the Civil War. James Buchanan. James Buchanan became the 15th President of the United States on March 4, 1857. He struggled to address the tensions between the North and South, leading up to the outbreak of the Civil War. Buchanan believed that slavery was a matter for individual states to decide, and he opposed efforts to abolish it. However, his attempts to maintain peace and unity ultimately failed, and his presidency is often criticized for his inability to prevent the country from descending into war. Abraham Lincoln. He was the 16th President of the United States and became president on March 4, 1861. Lincoln is best known for leading the country through the Civil War, which was fought from 1861 to 1865. He was a strong opponent of slavery and issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, which declared that all enslaved people in Confederate-held territory were to be set free. He is often regarded as one of America's greatest presidents for his dedication to equality and justice. Andrew Johnson. On April 15, 1865, he became the 17th President of the United States following the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. Johnson was a Southern Democrat who had been serving as Lincoln's vice president. His presidency was marked by conflicts with Congress over Reconstruction policies following the Civil War. Johnson favored a lenient approach towards the South, which led to tensions with the Republican-controlled Congress, who sought to protect the rights of newly freed slaves and impose stricter conditions on the Southern states. Ulysses S. Grant. He became the 18th President of the United States on March 4, 1869. Grant was a prominent Union general during the Civil War and played a crucial role in leading the North to victory. As president, he focused on Reconstruction efforts to rebuild the South and protect the rights of newly freed slaves. Grant also worked to combat corruption and promote civil rights. However, his presidency was marred by economic challenges, including the Panic of 1873 and scandals within his administration. Rutherford B. Hayes. As the 19th President of the United States on March 4, 1877, his presidency was marked by his efforts to reconcile the divisions left by the Civil War and Reconstruction. He pursued policies aimed at promoting civil service reform, economic growth, and civil rights. Hayes is best known for his commitment to honesty and integrity in government, earning him the nickname Rutherford for his efforts to root out corruption. Hayes also worked to promote unity and progress in the United States. James Garfield. He became the 20th President of the United States on March 4, 1881. Garfield's presidency was tragically cut short when he was assassinated just 4 months into his term. Before his presidency, Garfield was a Civil War general and a member of the House of Representatives. He was known for his support of civil rights and education reform, and is also remembered for his dedication to public service and his efforts to address corruption in government. Chester A. Arthur. He was the 21st President of the United States. He became president on September 19, 1881, following the assassination of President James Garfield. Arthur's presidency focused on civil service reform and efforts to modernize the government. He signed the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act into law, which aimed to eliminate political patronage and create a merit-based system for government employment. Grover Cleveland. He became the 22nd and 24th President of the United States on March 4, 1893. He first became president on March 4, 1885, and then again on March 4, 1893. Cleveland was the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. His presidency focused on issues such as civil service reform, reducing tariffs, and addressing labor disputes. Cleveland was known for his honesty and integrity, earning him the nickname Grover the Good. He also faced challenges, including economic depressions and labor strikes. Benjamin Harrison. Benjamin Harrison was the 23rd President of the United States. He became president on March 4, 1889. Harrison's presidency focused on economic issues, including tariffs and currency reform. He signed the McKinley Tariff Act into law, which raised tariffs on imported goods, and supported the Sherman Silver Purchase Act, which aimed to increase the money supply. Harrison also worked to expand the country's influence abroad, particularly in the Pacific and Latin America,